we go. What's up, everyone? Have you ever had that feeling that you're really uninspired? You just can't, you just don't have any ideas? Well, I'm feeling that way right now. You know, Billy just looked it up, I've made 725 videos, but that's actually not accurate. Those are 725 videos that are actually on my channel. But all my archive live streams, I pretty much put all my live streams in a playlist that doesn't count as my videos that are on my channel, and there's hundreds of those. I also have a second YouTube channel that I never talk about, which I guess is not really a secret anymore, but I haven't been on that in probably 2 months or so. But I go there to test out ideas and things like that, see if videos are going to get blocked. And I'm telling you about this, but it's called Rick Beato Live. It's been there. You can look it up. But it's tough. We all go through this. You know, everybody thinks that you know, everybody has this, it's like a writer's block, or you just don't feel like that you can come up with anything interesting. I just sat with my guitar. I did a Instagram video this morning. Thank you, Jason. And I felt great. I got up, I played, I was killing it, and then all of a sudden I sat back down and I was like, and I do my live stream today, and I said, what am I going to make a live stream about? Should I do ear training or music theory? And it's like, no, I don't want to do any of those. I don't want to do those. You guys are tired of those. And I don't want to tell any boring stories either. By the way, discount code, I always say it, you can see it on the screen there, RB619. It's 30% off anything in my store, Beato book, and 30% off the ear training, Beato ear training method, which we're adding another chapter to it, probably by tomorrow or so. Thank you, acousticidal tendencies. So occasionally I get to these points where the well goes dry and you're thinking, I go through my list of things that, ideas for videos, or a notebook of things to practice. What can I practice? What gets me inspired? It may just be a sound that gets you inspired. You may just, a new instrument or a new foot pedal. If you're a guitar player, a new synth patch, a new synth, a new modular synth, whatever it is, some new sound. I think that musicians are inspired, or at least I am, by sound. Do I like the sound of something? Is there a sound that makes me feel inspired? And it can be just the littlest thing, the right amount of delay on your guitar, a string, sound with just the right hall reverb on it, that you play something and then all of a sudden ideas start to flow. But a lot of times you sit there and you just can't come up with anything and just hate everything that you do. Those are the things that become difficult. And I don't usually have this problem. But today I'm thinking to myself, like I feel like my inspiration, I was inspired this morning when I was playing, then I came back to play, then I started playing and my sound wasn't right. And then all of a sudden I started playing, I was like, that's boring, I don't like that. And you guys all know you've been there before, right? You're trying to come up with an idea for a song. You try some new, you try different chord progression. I mean, this is really why my channel exists in a lot of ways, is to help people come up with ideas that when they're out of them. What are new ways to look at things? And what are the kind of things that you do to get yourself out of a rut? Because ultimately that's what we're talking about here, is to become inspired again. And honestly, I get inspired. I was not inspired until I thought, I'm going to make a video on not being inspired. And so because of that, I was like, yeah, I'm psyched about that. And it's strange, right? That I got inspired by making a video about not being inspired, because that gave me the idea, something to talk about, to interact with our community here and talk about this, because we've all been through that, you know? All these things I talk about with music theory that, you know, people say, well, why do you have to learn music theory? A lot of times that you pick up little things that, that will take you in directions that you never would have thought of. You know, I might watch something on Instagram, hear somebody play something, or listen to a piece, or listen to a piece of music, and hear something and say, okay, and then figure it out, whatever it is, right? And that may take me... I remember that I was watching a video, this is about 6 months ago or so. I was looking at Instagram, and my buddy Phil X came up. Phil is a great guitar player. I'm sure a lot of you know Phil, but if you don't, you should subscribe to his channel. It's Phil X 1111. So Phil was doing this thing, and he played this idea, and he did these 5-note groupings, but it was a particular descending pattern, and I instantly got an idea from that, and I made a video, I made an Instagram post that took his idea but played my notes with it. But that one little thing, that the way that he grouped those notes together made me inspired me to come up with something. So that's why when I have my guitar, you know, and I sit here, a lot of times I'll just noodle around. We all do this stuff, right? I'll say, okay, what can I do? And I'll start playing. And I'll start playing ideas like that, and I'll see if I can go in some different directions. Or sometimes I'll try and keep working on the same idea over the course of weeks. It might be something like that. That's an old school Rick line, right? So I love that sound. I like that. That's a good note to go to. That's not a good note. That's not a good note. So. Okay, that's good. I like that. So I found some really cool intervals there. It's awkward, and it's like, can I make up a line with that? That's kind of interesting. Okay, so just finding some nice little interval combination like that starts to spark an idea. Then I say, okay, well, where can I take that idea? Okay, those notes actually work. That's all in the same key. That's cool too. I'm using similar shapes here. Cool. I love that. beautiful right there. So that is leading me somewhere else. Now, see, so one little thing like that, just one fragment of an idea, a little string skip. That generated a bunch of ideas and got me inspired to work on other things related to that. But I may sit around for hours and do that until I come up with something. And then sometimes I'll put the guitar down, I'll go drink some coffee, do whatever, go play with the kids, and then come back with a fresh idea. I mean, I've gone days without this though. We've all been there. It's there's no shame in coming up with in feeling like you're out of ideas and that you need new inspiration. That to me is really the beauty of music theory that I've found. Those are the things. You read something, you listen to something, you hear something that interests you, and then you figure it out. When I was learning the guitar, just learning music in general, I always had this thing. It was that I never wanted to hear something that I didn't know what it was. And I think that's really been the driving force behind me as a musician my entire life. Is like, if there's something that I hear and don't know what it is, I have to figure it out. And I have a great ear for stuff. I just do, because I've trained my ear for years and years. And I've taught ear training, right? But there's some things that are really obtuse, things that move real quickly, that are technically advanced, that may go by so quickly that you can't just grab it in one listen. Sometimes it takes a few listens. Sometimes you need to slow something down to get it. But I found that as I've trained my ear, these kind of things, like being able to recognize things really quickly, I know what that is. Oh, I know what that is. I know what that is. When I hear a voicing, if I hear something like, if I hear a chord like this, I hear that top note, I go, that's an add 9 chord, right? It's not necessarily in an inversion that I normally would hear. I probably hear an add 9 chord like that. Right? If I add the fourth to it. But if I put the third in the bass, right there, that sound to me is so beautiful, that dissonance there, something that simple inspires me. I just hear that voicing right there and I'm inspired. There's a melancholy feel to it. And it can be something that simple. People, I always laugh about this. People are like, Rick, what's your favorite chord? I get that in the comments all the time. What's your favorite chord? It's like, I don't have a favorite chord. What's your favorite letter of the alphabet? What is your favorite chord? Now, if somebody said, play me a chord that you like the sound of, now that's a different thing. That, I would play that. I was like, I love the sound of that chord. And it's a very simple chord. It's just an E major, but it's got the spacing of it is great. And because it has this, has that flat 9 between the bass note, G sharp, and the A above it, that flat 9s are melancholy. It's like more of a new blue note or something. A flat 9 is like a blue note, right? A flat 9 interval. If you put it next to each other, it's muddy. If I move it up the octave, it starts to sound, it can be evil sounding. If I put it up 2 octaves, and I put that structure in it, those fourths in there, it just there's something about the way those intervals interact with each other that it feels like it's it has a melancholy feel, and it inspires me. Melancholy inspires me. Okay, so wait, I have to tell you, sale for today. RB 619. Everything in my store is 30% off, including the ear training program. And here's the thing: I only am doing one live stream a week now, and you know my videos. And I don't want to be here singing the blues to you guys, but I had so many videos demonetized, and I apologize for what I'm calling the YouTube scam, which is the fact that they're playing, and I know that some of you have noticed this, that there are sometimes five commercials before that video I did with the top 20 outro guitar solos. And I think I figured out what's happening with that. And that is that YouTube, because there's so many demonetizations on it, all the people want to get paid on it, whose guitar solo, whose song I'm promoting by playing the guitar solo, songs that never get played anymore, want to make they expect X amount of money, and YouTube puts 5 commercials in front of it. Please skip through commercials. Okay, on my channel, anytime you see a commercial, I don't get paid any more whether you skip through 5 seconds or not. Skip through the commercials. And I apologize. It's just a YouTube way to rip off people. Or it's really the artists and the publishers. YouTube doesn't have anything to do with it. They tell them, the artists say, this is how much money we need to make if somebody uses our content. And all my videos get demonetized. Just about all of them do. So the only way I make anything to support my channel is through having sales on here and people buying stuff from my store. And so if you want to support the channel, that's how you can do it. RB 619. So, you know, I get asked a lot if I'm, you know, can you do more of these? What makes this song great? How many can you do? Oh, I can do thousands of these. I can do thousands. But what do I want to do? You know, now I'm getting to this point now where I've got 9 more episodes until I reach 100 episodes of that. And it's taken on a different importance now, these last 9 episodes, to where I'm, and thank you for everybody with the super chats. Really appreciate that. I'm really thinking carefully about these songs, and I've had some very interesting suggestions for the next set of videos. I did Joni Mitchell. I did a video on Sting, which wasn't part of the series because I wanted to talk about multiple Sting songs, why Sting is uncopyable. I did a video that was a fun video that not many people watched that I made about 22 chord voicings. It was a joke video. And my kids liked it. And my kids, there's only about 2 videos I've ever made, 3 videos that my kids like. They like my Apple rant. They like this video I did called The Mother Chord because this hilarious intro sequence on it. And that's the only part of it that they watch. And then the video I did the other day, my last video about 22 chords. Because I'm goofing around trying to come up with new chord voicings. But it was really a joke thing. I had some guy in the comments say, I'm really surprised that Rick, being an accomplished jazz musician, didn't know these chords. It's like, dude, this is a joke. I mean, it was fun. It wasn't a joke, but it was a fun video. You know, you can't even have a. I've had a few videos like that. I did this video on the classical melodic minor versus jazz melodic minor scale. And I played 2 characters in the video, but people, I guess my music humor people don't get really. Anyways, so I see, let me go to some of these things in here. I see this thing about the Ramones. Okay, yes, the Ramones can totally be in that. Blue House Music, Rick, the best demonetization sucks. Greenish from the other side of the pond. It does, and thank you. Let's see. when I get in a creative drought, I dust off my copy of The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. Never fails. Have I ever used or read it? I have not, but that sounds like a great thing to check out. But like I said, I have a lot of videos. I have an entire list of videos that I want to make, some of which I haven't been able to make because of the social distancing that we're doing and getting people to come over to record. I can't do the recording videos that I want to do because, and I have a lot of really, really interesting recording videos that I want to do, comparison videos that I think you guys will find really interesting. Because I can't set the stuff up and record it myself. And Billy is not an engineer. I mean, Billy can do this, but Billy can help me set up this stuff, but I can't engineer. That's why I bring Ken in, my engineer, for those videos. But he can't come in all the time. So anyway, so that's one of the things. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate that. That's one of the issues as well with these. With the recording things. I just did a video on the Glenn Johns miking technique about a week and a half ago, which I think was a really good video. I was very happy with the way it came out. Especially, I think the part of it that was instructive was that any of you that watched it was the isolating of the microphones. When I turned off everything but the kick drum, you could hear, okay, that sounds like the kick, and then the mics come back on. But then I turned on the overheads, just them by themselves, the one above and one over the floor tom. And then I think people thought, well, that's the whole sound, which it is. And then the snare was slightly in there, just for the attack of it, right? So I have a bunch of other videos that I want to do. Some of these ones that demystify things, kind of like my video that I did on the guitar strings, right? That was like a Mythbusters video that hit 1 million views thanks to you guys, which was a great, that was a fun video to do. But I have a couple other things that like that I want to do, kind of myth-busting videos. Okay, so we got Richard says, appreciate your hard work as an aviation professional. My music education level keeps growing and growing thanks to you. I appreciate that. Dave, thank you so much, Dave Hockey. Really appreciate that. Caleb, but commentary and criticism is supposed to fall under the category of fair use. Let's see. Playing solo from songs or reviewing, comparing is a prime example of this. Should not get a strike. You know what? It doesn't matter. You can't fight these things. And I say when people, I get written to, people write me all the time about, Rick, fight these copyright things. It's like, I don't mean to be, I don't want to be the old guy. I'm 58 years old. This is for young people to fight these fights. These take years to make things happen. Class action suits, things, when you're going against publishing companies or record companies, oh my God. Boston, when they tried to make their second record, Tom Scholz sued the record label, and Tom Scholz sued the record label, and ended up winning the case, but it took 4 years before he got the second Boston record out. So, that's for other people to do. That's not my thing to fight now. I just have to work around it. And I, depend on people buying stuff, supporting the channel through that. And that's pretty much, I've given up on trying to make money through advertising. That I've never, honestly, I made that decision two years ago that forget it. I'm not going to have my videos, what I talk about, dictated to by YouTube and by record labels. I'm going to play songs and teach people from famous songs because that's how you learn. You learn from listening to the greatest of the great. And even if if the videos get demonetized, it doesn't matter. What matters is the content. And then you try and figure out a way to supplement it through people buying things and supporting the channel through my disc and giving discount codes here, RB619. Check out my ear training course. If you want to have a great ear, you do this course and you will have a phenomenal ear. I guarantee it. You will have it. The people that are the highest scorers on there, you can opt in and have your score go against other people or not. You don't have to do that. The people that score the highest on it are amazingly good. This is a way to support my channel. Buy my Beato book. Buy a t-shirt. Become a member of the Beato Club. I don't talk about that enough. The Beato Club is another way. It's like artist funding. It's like Patreon, but it's through my website, through Flat 5, Aaron's website. Aaron, who's on here. So I see on here, somebody says, do what makes this song suck. Brian writes that. I get that all the time. I don't want to make videos on with a negative topic like that. Why do I want to talk about why something's bad? I want to talk about why something is great. Because it's much more interesting to talk about what is good. And there's way more to be learned from what is good. I can tell you certain things like, if the sixth is in the melody, you're not going to get a good harmony note from it, okay? It's easier to harmonize chord tones, right? Than showing you a song that has a sixth in the melody that has a terrible harmony on it and say, this is a terrible harmony, here's why. I'd rather just show you a song with a great melody and explain to you why it's great, because I think that's much more instructive and it's much more positive. And I would rather focus on that. Okay, got a couple more things on here. Let's see here. Is Gecko50. Thank you. Appreciate that. My audio's flanging. Somebody keeps saying that. Oh, I think we screwed that up somehow. Is it flanging, Billy?
A little bit.
Is it bad? Well, you've dealt with it this long. Who cares if the audio is flanging? I see that. It's live. Yeah. Ryan13 says, change the nines after your strings video. Go with the tech flow. No stress. I used to freak out about that. Thank you, Kurt. I used to freak out when things would go wrong. There's Deb. It's not that bad. It's bad, yes. Those are the sound engineers that are on here. It's bad. People are like, no, it sounds great. Audio is flanging and echoing. There's some setting that I guess I didn't set here. But I've said what I wanted to say today on this stuff. It's this is the dilemma. I always look on YouTube at thank you, Phil, appreciate that. I always dread those YouTube videos by YouTubers where they say, I'm done with YouTube, I need to take a break, I need to do this or that, and it always gets me depressed when I watch those videos. And but when you listen to the reasons that people get burned out on things, you can definitely relate to it. No question about it. But I don't really feel that way. I just feel like that I feel like I can't find my mojo for the moment, and I need to drink some coffee or do something. I need to experiment more until I get it. I need to think about something. Somebody just said here, do a pop punk song or emo song on what makes this song great. The first episode ever was Blink-182. Episode 1. All the Small Things. That's what gave me the idea to do what makes this song great, was that song. And I tell people that I did about 80% of the bands when I first started producing were new metal bands. The other 20% were emo and pop punk bands. Tons of them. And what I'd like to do is to talk about, is to definitely do some more songs like that. I like to talk about some of the early projects I did. I don't know. Maybe it's just interesting to me. I always say to people, when other YouTubers call me and ask me for my advice, I say, and this is the cynical Rick, I say, people don't really care about what you think or what I think, ultimately. They things that may seem interesting to you or me are not interesting to other people in a lot of ways. A lot of things are interesting, yes, but they're not related to me, right? People say, why don't you talk about some of the songs you produce? Because nobody cares about those songs. I mean, for the most part, people don't care. I mean, some people on here are going to say, yes, I care. Oh, we care. But ultimately, nobody cares. I'd rather talk about things that interest me because those are the things that usually interest other people or, things that I think are interesting. I was going to tell you about a couple of new ideas I have that I think are phenomenally good ideas for videos I came up with yesterday, but I don't want to give it away right now. Okay, so RB619. You want to support the channel? Buy my Beato book. It's the cost of half of a guitar lesson from somebody at a music store. And you get my entire channel for free. I mean, that's what it is. If you enjoy my channel and you want to support it, pick up something from my store. Go watch my ear training video, introduction video. It's really, ear training course is fantastic. And it's really, really helpful. That's how you support the channel. That's how we keep new stuff coming all the time. And remember, you can always play your way out of a rut. If you ever find yourself in a rut with no inspiration, or come to this channel. There you go. You guys are the best. Thank you.